This is Mark and Charity Mornings.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. On a special show this morning, it was the Medithon raising money all day today, 6A to 6P for Belleville General Hospital Foundation.
So important that we have this hospital. We are so lucky to have this hospital, and it's so important to keep it up and running. And the equipment is not government funded, and that's the thing that we always hear about. It's not funded by the government. It comes from donations made by this community. So if we want to keep the departments and the staff there that we have, then we need to do this. We need to support them. And the stories that came out of this morning and the people we heard from, incredible stories.
Government pays for the electricity, the lighting, and the salaries.
Yep.
They don't pay for the equipment. So if we want to upgrade the nuclear medicine, which we need in 2021, that can be able to diagnose cancers more accurately, quicker, everything you need. When you need a diagnosis, you need it correct and you need it now. And that takes money. And so donors pay for that. And here's, because I was on the foundation, here's some of the other backstory to it that I want to say that I've learned in my time there is, guess where doctors and nurses who travel? So I've graduated from the University of Toronto because I'm like so smart. Or Waterloo, which does a lot of medical, right?
You want to save lives and do good. Yeah.
I now have my choice to apply to hospitals. Where am I going to go? Am I going to go to a place that has broken down equipment or does not have the equipment and the expertise I was just educated in if I want to be an oncologist, for example?
Yep.
Or am I going to choose to go to a hospital that has an opening that has top-notch equipment, other oncologists that are well thought of in the industry, in a wonderful community on the 401? Well, guess what? So it is not only that. When you have great equipment, you attract better medical personnel. It's a fact. I was on the foundation. It is a fact. When you talk to the staff, a lot of the reasons why they chose to come here when they travel from outside was because of the equipment that we had here at Belleville General Hospital.
Well, that's really great to know.
So when you think about making a donation, it's not just to help today. It is down the road, because if you don't need this equipment today, doesn't mean you won't in 2 years.
Or someone in your family.
Yeah.
Because we all know someone.
You know, my dad had a famous line, and I like to pull it out at times like this. Always dig the well before you're thirsty. That was his line.
Very smart.
So if you suddenly need equipment 5 years from now, and it's like, sorry, we don't have that equipment here, you're going to have to travel somewhere. And you thought, boy, if only I donated 5 years ago. You can't donate 5 years ago. You can only donate today. So that 5 years from now, that equipment is here for you, your loved ones, a grandchild, spouse, sibling, friend.
And it doesn't have to be a huge amount of money.
Doesn't have to be at all.
It really doesn't.
No.
Every little bit counts, and every little bit will help, because as you just pointed out, if you do get sick and you do need health care and it's not here, you're going to have to travel. And what does that then do for your health? It's so much nicer, and we hear it time and time again, for families to be able to stay close to home, because that does play into it too. That helps you get better as well when you're just down the road and you don't have to travel hours or be separated from your family for long periods of time.
We're going to hear from Terry Callahan, who is a cancer survivor, who's going to talk about that very same thing. As we yield to the executive director, Steve Cook, who, because this week was to have been the gala, has dubbed himself a brand new nickname.
They call me Steve Pivot Cook now. So,
no doubt, yes.
Yeah, so it's a big weekend, though, for the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, beginning with today's Medithon. Steve, why is it so important to reach out to the community and get out the message that we, as donors, are the ones that fund the equipment?
Well, just basically around that, Mark, in that the government doesn't purchase medical equipment for hospitals, as we know. So obviously it's the responsibility of the community around us. And we have an amazing community here in Belleville and beyond. And initiatives like the Medithon will help to secure much needed equipment for our frontline staff this year and going into the future.
So what is the hope for today, Steve?
To be honest, it's a little bit of everything, really. It's our inaugural Medithon. So obviously we're in the busiest period of our fundraising year coming up to Christmas. So really their hope is that people will call us directly, or they'll text a small donation, or perhaps they will go onto the website at bghf.ca and look around and see that they can purchase a ticket for a brand new Cadillac CT4 Sport. There's so much going on. And as you say, they can either then visit the Winter Wonderland silent auction, which I think is already up to nearly $15,000. So we're just trying to raise awareness, engage the community, put it out there and say, hey, this is all on offer here in December, and get involved.
Steve Cook, Executive Director of the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, on today's Medithon on 95.5 Hits FM. And before we let you go, Steve, tip of the hat to all of the board members and volunteers who have also put their name forward to talk about their pledge of commitment. It really does speak to the integrity of the community to want to rally around the hospital.
Yeah, exactly that. As I say, we have so many people that are passionate about healthcare, passionate about the hospital, and especially in these current times around the pandemic, is let's all get together, keep our hospital strong, and give everybody the best chance of a favourable healthcare outcome.
Thank you, Steve. And it's his job as executive director, who answers to a board of directors of volunteers right here in the community. As I mentioned, I was on that board. It's his job to shepherd all of those donations to purchase those pieces of equipment. It's a very, very important job.
Well, and you're going to help him raise some of that money tomorrow as well. We should mention that. You were supposed to do it tonight, the online version of it, and rally people to donate. And then, as he mentioned, pivoted, and now you're doing it all tomorrow.
People who had purchased tickets for tomorrow night's gala will get their meals. They can go pick them up. And then we're still going to have the dance band, the show band.
So they'll be there with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Boyd is going to be doing
Sullivan.
the live auction. I think it's 8 items. And I'm going to be moving things and pieces along with some of the other videos we were going to have.
That's amazing.
And then you can make donations online. I'm still going to be in the tux because it looks so good. Not on me. It's just a good looking tuxedo. I'm going to let you make an important decision. Black tie or red tie? Bow tie.
Oh, bow tie?
Christmas, or do I change halfway through? So I look open with the black tie.
That's so
Go
hard
to the
because
red
with
tie.
it being so close to Christmas, I would say red, but there's something very classic about the black. Don't put that on me. No,
Black tie it is.
I'm not going to say.
Fully black tie it is on that. And again, the major reason why we do it is so that we can have what we call positive health outcomes.
Yes.
We are in the business, as they say in the hospital, of saving people. The mission of BGHF is to work in partnership with the community, raising funds to invest in the latest technological equipment. And why? So that we can save people like Terry Callahan.
Terry Callahan joins us this morning. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
Now, you know firsthand how important it is to have this hospital in our own backyard. Can you share your story with us?
Sure. I was just feeling a little off. I had a little cold that was hanging on and a cough, so I had gone to my family doctor and let's just do a chest x-ray, and he just say one x-ray led to a CT scan and an MRI, and they found something on my liver. But they really weren't sure at that point, so they actually kept a really close eye on me, really good care, and did ultrasounds, and then finally had a biopsy to determine that I did have cancer. But the folks at the Belleville General Hospital were fantastic. They just kept pursuing it until we knew what we were dealing with.
And Terry, as far as your own recovery and peace of mind and those of your family and your friends, how important is it to have those services available right here in your hometown?
I feel so fortunate that we have Belleville General Hospital that, you can go to appointments locally. I did have to have some surgery in Kingston, and it just wasn't the same feeling of being at home and close to home and your loved ones. And although Kingston took really good care of me, I feel for people who don't have those services locally and don't have the means to travel. So the more we can do in our own community and have the support from our local hospital, all the better. So I feel very fortunate to benefit from the Belleville General Hospital.
And you are on the mend now?
I am feeling fantastic. I am blessed and grateful every day. My recovery went really well. I was fortunate not to have chemo, radiation, surgery, took care of it all, and I'm living my best life for sure.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, so you've got the opportunity now to tell all of our listeners, because you've gone through this, how important it is to make a donation, and you would obviously encourage them to do so.
Oh, absolutely, and it doesn't matter the amount, anything you can afford. You don't realize how important it is until you do go through a health scare. also having the hospital here. Please donate what you can, and count your blessings every day when you wake up in good health, because for some people it's not the case. So let's do everything we can to help those people who need the hospital. So please donate, and be thankful and grateful for your health every day.
And what a great chat that was with Terry.
Yeah.
That as soon as we were done, we both looked at each other and said, "Wow, that's a great story." And when we spoke to her this morning, when we played that this morning, the reaction that we then got from listeners too, because people were messaging in saying, you know what, I'm a survivor too. And it's not just the oncology, it's not just the cancer patients, but also the ER. This person was specifically mentioning the staff in the ER and how important they were. And they admitted they would not be here today if it wasn't because of the staff in the ER being so knowledgeable and so determined to save them, to help them. So it's incredible, the staff as well.
And the best part about Terry's that we haven't mentioned, because all that is great, is just how positive she is now. I'm going to assume that she had a lot of those qualities before. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's like a Scrooge overnight thing, but it's funny how you just kind of reorganize the priorities. I think she was always a very basic, positive person to begin with. But I think the positivity stays at the top, and the little stuff, I bet you she doesn't even give it a thought anymore. The little things that eat at us on a day-to-day basis. And how wonderful would that be? Oh, my gosh.
To be there. But yes, overcoming stage 4 cancer would be huge. And she would,
rock star.
As she said, waking up every morning and just being grateful for being here, thankful that she's here.
And healthy.
And not
to take it for granted.
Exactly.
So bghf.ca is the website. You can straight out donate. You can click on and take part in the online auction, the virtual auction that continues until tomorrow. And I'm going to pick a time and say like 9 o'clock.
Well, and yes, I was thinking that because you wrap it up, don't you?
Because
while
it's
you're
online.
there, yes, you will wrap that up. Okay.
Yeah, so you'll get all the details on that. So that's a way of donating. My favorite way to donate without actually making a donation is to bid on an item and make somebody else outbid you. There you go. You made them some money. You made them money. But if you can, as we've said all along, it doesn't take a lot for everybody to give what they can to ensure, especially at this time, as we're hearing the numbers go back up again, that the Belleville General Hospital Foundation has those necessary equipment to look after the people here at home so they don't have to travel, attract outstanding medical personnel at the time that we need it, and plan for the future of healthcare through nuclear medicine, which is where it is all going. Those diagnoses are so very important. So thanks, everybody, for taking part on that today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back next weekend with an Ask Me Anything. You can text us in right now on our prize line, 613-962-0955. Put AMA with it, Ask Me Anything. And then we'll answer that next week. Why? Because we know you're nosy and we don't mind. We
are open books. And speaking of books, our Advent of Kindness, along with giving to the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, of course, is donate unwanted books to charity. And you love to read, and I know you have quite a collection. Not to me specifically, but if there is a charity that you could think of to donate your books to, that's a great way to perform a random act of kindness.
Here's my problem is because the Alzheimer's Society has book sales, so I'll donate 2 or 3 books back, buy 7.
I know.
You know,
you walk out with the numbers.
The numbers don't work out in my favor. They don't work out.
But they do for the Alzheimer's Society.
They love it. They love it for sure. It's Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for Friday, December the 10th. Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Here on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and on our social media sites. Support the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, BGHF, on the Medithon with Starboard Communication, and have yourself a fabulous weekend. We'll be back here on Monday.